In today's video, we're continuing our exploration of the profound and timeless question, did God create bad people? If you missed the first part of our journey where we discussed the origins of religion, simply click the I button in the top right corner to catch up on the discussion. In this second part, we delve deeper into the concept of evil, often personified as Shaitan in the three Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. We'll also explore an intriguing story involving the renowned physicist Albert Einstein, known as Einstein's insight. Our goal is to gain a deeper understanding of how these faiths approach the idea of evil and whether God is seen as the creator of bad people. So join us as we unravel the threads of faith and philosophy, and let's continue our quest for answers together. Imagine a small classroom filled with eager young minds, and at the front, a teacher who is guiding them not just through textbooks, but through life's profound questions. Among those students sat a young Albert Einstein, a name that would later become synonymous with genius. One day, during a particularly thought-provoking discussion, the teacher posed a question that echoed through the room. If God exists, why did he create bad people? It was a question that had puzzled minds for centuries, and it hung in the air, waiting for someone to unravel its mystery. Young Einstein, never one to shy away from intellectual challenges, listened carefully to the teacher's question. Then he, in turn, asked a question of his own, one that would spark a profound journey of thought. He asked, does darkness exist, or is it merely the absence of light? Does coldness exist, or is it simply the absence of heat? With these questions, Einstein was challenging not only the notion of evil, but also the very nature of existence itself. He was suggesting that much like darkness and coldness are the absence of light and heat, perhaps evil is the absence of goodness. Einstein then extended his inquiry by asking another question. Does the sun exist, or is it merely the absence of darkness? In this, he pondered the relationship between light and darkness, suggesting that the presence of light in the form of the sun dispels darkness. Einstein's perspective posited that evil and wrongdoing in the world weren't a result of God creating bad people. Instead, he suggested that these actions were the absence of a good mentality, much like darkness is the absence of light. In other words, Einstein argued that humans have the capacity for both good and evil, and it is our choices that determine our actions. In that moment, the young Einstein challenged the traditional notion of evil as an inherent trait, proposing that humans were by nature neither good nor bad, but capable of both. His perspective emphasized the role of human agency and free will in moral decision-making. It suggested that rather than being inherently bad, individuals have the potential to choose between good and evil. Evil, in Einstein's view, emerged when individuals made choices that deviated from what was morally right. This insight from a budding scientist and philosopher would go on to shape the way we think about morality, ethics, and human nature. It highlighted the complexity of the human experience and the pivotal role of individual choices in shaping the world. What is evil in Christianity? In Christianity, the concept of evil is deeply rooted in the theology of free will and moral choice. Evil is often understood not as something created by God, but rather as the result of humanity's misuse of the free will that God has granted. According to Christian belief, God created humans with the capacity for both good and evil, and he granted them the freedom to make choices. The actions and choices that go against God's moral standards are often seen as sinful or evil. This perspective emphasizes individual responsibility for one's actions. In Christian theology, the embodiment of evil is often personified as Satan, also known as the devil. Satan is considered a fallen angel who rebelled against God's authority. His disobedience and pride led to his expulsion from heaven, and he became a symbol of temptation, sin, and evil in Christian tradition. The existence of evil in the world is often explained as a consequence of humanity's choice to disobey God's commandments, starting with the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. This narrative illustrates how the misuse of free will led to a rupture in humanity's relationship with God, resulting in the presence of sin and evil in the world. In Judaism, evil is often viewed as the result of human choices and actions that deviate from God's moral guidelines. The concept of evil is tied to ethical decision-making, with the Yetzer Hara, evil inclination, and Yetzer Hatov, good inclination, representing the internal struggle within individuals. While the concepts of evil in Christianity and Judaism share similarities due to their common Abrahamic roots, there's a unique perspective in Islam that involves a significant story. Islamic perspective. In Islam, evil is approached with a unique narrative. It involves the figure of Shaitan. Shaitan was created by God but endowed with free will. When Allah commanded all beings to bow to Adam. Shaitan's refusal marked the beginning of his rebellion. However, it's important to note that Shaitan's evil actions are attributed to his disobedience and arrogance, not to God's creation. In Islam, humans are seen as morally accountable for their choices, and evil results from turning away from God's guidance. One of the most significant stories in Islamic tradition involves Shaitan's defiance. After his expulsion from God's presence, Shaitan posed questions saying, "Where will I live? And what will I eat?" These questions symbolize not only Shaitan's rebellion, but also his realization of the consequences of his actions and his separation from divine goodness. Allah's responses to Shaitan's questions were as follows. Regarding where he would live, Allah responded that Shaitan would find his abode among those who follow him in rebellion against God. Regarding what he would eat, Allah's response was that Shaitan would feed on falsehood, deception, and the corrupt beliefs of those who heed his call. In Islam, Shaitan's story serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of disobedience and the importance of submitting to God's guidance to avoid evil. So, while Christianity and Judaism share common elements in their understanding of evil, Islam offers a distinctive perspective through the story of Shaitan and Allah's responses to his questions. As we continue our exploration of the concept of evil and its interpretations in different faiths, we can't help but appreciate the profound impact of Einstein's insight. It's a reminder that some questions transcend the boundaries of science and religion, leading us to deeper insights that bridge faith and philosophy. As we conclude our journey through these profound questions about the nature of evil and its interpretations across different faiths and philosophies, we invite you to reflect on what you've learned today. If you have any more questions, or if there's a topic you'd like us to explore in future videos, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. We value your curiosity and engagement, and we look forward to continuing this exploration together. Thank you for joining us on this quest for answers, and until next time, may your quest for knowledge and understanding never cease.